Islam would feel like he bit off more than he could chew once he gets in there with him, because when he puts some things on him, he's like, oh shit, I'm standing with this guy, I have to take him down.
You know, is a lightweight, he's going to be a little smaller in the fight, but he's a well-rounded fighter. So, you know, if he's able to take down JDM and control him, you know, he could definitely get the job done. But it's going to be interesting to see how the size advantage plays a difference in the fight.
Straight up, Jack is better. I think he wins in the hands. Jack's got the better game to strike over 5 rounds than Islam does as well, especially if Islam is trying to go for takedowns during the fight. People sleep on Jack's grappling game. They sleep on his jiu-jitsu.
Islam Makhachev's words carried a heavy warning before his title defense. He made it clear that he plans to beat Jack Della Maddalena, even worse than he did Alexander Volkanovski. The statement alone set the tone for what many are already calling one of the most heated fights of the year. For Makhachev, this isn't just about keeping the belt, it's about proving once again that no one can match his dominance. For Maddalena, it's about chasing history and shocking the world by toppling one of the most complete fighters in the UFC. The build-up to this fight has created a storm of takes, predictions, and warnings from fighters, analysts, and fans across the MMA world. Makhachev stands as the pound-for-pound king with a reputation for dominance in both wrestling and striking. Maddalena, on the other hand, comes in as the dangerous challenger with knockout power and fearless confidence. Their collision at UFC 322 is already shaping up to be a defining moment for both careers.
I think Della is going to get it done. I feel from talking to Tim and also seeing Della, and also I've only sparred Della once, like not really hard crazy, but and I didn't try and take him down at all, but I've seen him at your gym sparring, and his scrambles are crazy.
Yeah, he's
even watching him with Bilal as well and Gilbert Burns, his scrambles are crazy, and I feel Islam would feel like he bit off more than he could chew once he gets in there with him, because when he puts some things on him, he's like, oh shit, I'm standing with this guy, I have to take him down. And then he tries, gets him down, and he gets back up, or he couldn't get him down, because he's a big dude. People don't realize how big Della is as well. He's solid. So I really
dense, man, just dense.
Dense, yeah.
Makhachev's message was as straightforward as it was intimidating. He doesn't just want to defend the title, he wants to send a brutal reminder that anyone who challenges him will pay the price. The mention of Volkanovski was not casual. Their 2 fights showed Makhachev's ability to adapt, overwhelm, and finish one of the greatest fighters of this generation. Now he's promising to push Maddalena into even deeper waters. His warning isn't just about winning, it's about dominance. Colby Covington, never shy to give a bold prediction, weighed in with his own perspective. He pointed out that Makhachev's skill set leaves very little room for someone like Maddalena to break through. According to him, Maddalena may be tough and dangerous with his hands, but Makhachev's balance of grappling, pressure, and smart striking is a nightmare for anyone. Covington believes that when the fight plays out, the belt is not really in danger. In his eyes, Makhachev's ability to control where the fight happens makes him too much for Maddalena.
Islam versus JDM, what do you make of that? Islam moving up to now welterweight?
Yeah, it's an interesting fight. I'm excited to see how it goes. You know, Islam, you know, is a lightweight. He's going to be a little smaller in the fight, but he's a well-rounded fighter. So, you know, if he's able to take down JDM and control him, you know, he could definitely get the job done. But it's going to be interesting to see how the size advantage plays a difference in the fight.
Who do you favor?
I mean, I seen the odds were pretty big. They favored Makhachev like 3-1. So I guess I got to go with the odds if they're going 3-1. But just because JDM doesn't have good takedown defense, but you never know. It's a fight, and JDM has some good hands, so it should be an exciting fight for the fans.
But not everyone is so quick to write off the challenger. Robert Whittaker, who knows what it's like to stand across from the very best, has given his own prediction. He explained that this fight is not a one-sided walkover. For Whittaker, Maddalena represents the kind of striker who can make things uncomfortable, even for a champion like Makhachev. At the same time, he acknowledged that Islam carries a heavy burden. As Whittaker sees it, Makhachev has everything to lose.
I think Jack has that X factor. I think he has the gut, the grit, the determination to fight the takedowns, to fight the ground, the takedown attacks that Islam is going to go for. And I think in a striking fight, straight up, Jack is better. I think he wins in the hands.
Yeah.
I think Jack's got the better game to strike over 5 rounds than Islam does as well, especially if Islam is trying to go for takedowns during the fight.
Yeah.
I think, and this is people sleep on Jack's grappling game. They sleep on his jiu-jitsu. I don't think Islam is going to be as like gun-ho with the takedowns as everybody believes, because Jack has that level of offense off his back.
Whitaker stressed that pressure in MMA works in strange ways. Sometimes being the champion creates more weight than advantage. If Maddalena can stay sharp and avoid early traps, he might force Makhachev into moments where the fight doesn't feel comfortable. For Whitaker, the real intrigue is not just about who wins, but how each man handles the weight of the moment.
I see the fight potentially going that way, but I think Jack's in a better position to take advantage of the things that Volk couldn't. I think he's got better hands, especially over 5 rounds with the longer arms and the reach, especially considering Islam's going to be trying to close that distance to get closer. Jack's tight fighting is so high level. Mate, honestly, skill-wise, I think they both have their strengths. I don't think either one of them is overly superior in any which way. Like, yes, Islam would be a better wrestler, but Jack has the grappling to kind of threaten that. Not to mention, I think he's got the type boxing to make him pay for anything he doesn't pull off well.
Another voice joined the mix, bringing up an interesting angle about Maddalena's potential. A top UFC star, Steve Urcheg, suggested that Maddalena could take inspiration from one of the fighters who once gave Makhachev a very tough night. The idea is simple. History shows that even the most dominant champions have cracks that can be tested. If Maddalena can copy the right strategy, picking his shots, creating scrambles, and not letting himself get smothered, he could surprise the world. That example serves as a reminder that no fighter is untouchable, no matter how dominant their record looks.
And he shocked me on how good he was. Like, he handled the grappling exchanges so well. And it's the best striking performance I've seen from him. Like, he just, like, the big moment, like, he rose to the occasion. It was, like, fantastic to see. And I really do think, I do think that the grappling from Islam, like, he's a better technical grappler than Bilal is, but he's not quite as big. He's not as imposing. And yeah, if you look at the Dustin Poirier fight, Poirier was able to stop some of his takedown and win some scrambles and stuff like that. I feel like not only will Jack be able to do that, but when he lands punches, it's going to be way more devastating.
Another UFC star, Sean Brady, also showed personal interest in the outcome. He admitted he wants to face the winner of this fight. That means UFC 322 doesn't just decide the belt, but it sets up another huge clash immediately after. The stakes are not just for Makhachev and Maddalena. They ripple across the division, shaping the path for future contenders.
Selfishly, for me, I would want Islam to win because I want to fight Islam as for a legacy thing. And I think I can beat Islam. I think I can beat anybody in the world. And I want to grapple. I want my grappling to go against his grappling and see who's better. I really would love for that to play out. But if I had to pick, and I know Jack would be the underdog, I would pick Jack.
Looking at Maddalena, it's clear why so many people are excited about his rise. He brings a style that is clean, powerful, and aggressive. His boxing is sharp, and he carries the kind of knockout threat that can change a fight in a split second. What makes him even more dangerous is his composure. Unlike many strikers who get wild when chasing the finish, Maddalena picks his moments. That patience, combined with power, makes him a dangerous puzzle. Against a champion like Makhachev, it may be his only path to victory.
JDM looks to me massively improved. We talked about the issues heading into the fight with Bilal Muhammad, where he had second order get-up ability, but he didn't have great down blocking, meeting takedowns. When your opponent makes contact with you, greeting them at the point of contact with defense, and he got way better about it. Plus his get-ups also got a lot better. And if you actually listen to his coach on Submission Radio, what he says is they only worked with Craig Jones for a few weeks last time. Now they're going to get him for basically the entire camp.
But then comes the reality check. Makhachev has shown time and again that he doesn't allow opponents to fight their fight. Whether it was dominating Charles Oliveira on the ground or outstriking Volkanovski in surprising fashion, Makhachev has proven his ability to control every area. His confidence in saying Maddalena will be beaten worse than Volk comes from this track record. He has dismantled elite strikers before. For him, Maddalena is another name on a long list of challengers.
But what are the holes in Islam's game that you see?
Oh, I mean, obviously, I can't talk about it in too much detail, but I mean, you can just watch his grappling and sort of see opportunities. Like, you can go back and look at past fights and see where guys have been able to get up or reverse him. And then obviously we're still focused on the fact that even if he's made those errors before, will he have changed them? And usually I find most people don't adjust an error until they take a loss. So everyone always has mistakes in the grappling. So I mean, Islam, even against Poirier, didn't look as good as I thought.
Couldn't really hold him down as well, right?
Yeah, so I think Jack's gonna be super tough. Jack's like tough for me to hold him.
The fight also carries a storyline beyond skills and strategies. Makhachev fights with the weight of Dagestan behind him. He represents a lineage of champions who thrive on discipline, wrestling dominance, and relentless pressure. Every time he steps into the cage, he carries not just personal goals, but a tradition that adds to the aura around him, making him seem almost unbeatable.
JDM don't wrestle, but he was defending well, and he puts damage on you.
Off rip,
Starts putting damage on you, and he can box.
So how do you see that fight with him and Islam? Does he have the ability to beat a guy like Islam?
He'll get takedown attempts coming at him very early. This time. The last fight, he didn't have to deal with that when he was fresh. If Islam can start to pressure him early and take him down early, or even just make him wrestle, he might struggle. I don't know that he's ever felt anything like he's gonna feel, because it's not gonna be double legs and single leg with Islam. It's gonna be him playing with his feet, tripping him, moving around on the octagon side, doing things that he don't recognize as freely.
But you didn't answer the question.
The problem is, like, I can only give you that because I can't truly make a prediction. The job doesn't allow it.
Maddalena, however, represents something equally powerful. He is the kind of fighter who brings hope to fans that new blood can shake up the hierarchy. His rise has been fast, exciting, and filled with highlight reel finishes. The idea of him knocking out a dominant champion like Makhachev captures imaginations. It's the classic storyline of the unstoppable force versus the fearless challenger.
You can clearly see that Topuria is studying Islam Makhachev because he's giving Jack Della Maddalena advice as to how to beat him at Madison Square Garden this fall. And what's really interesting is the insight as to what that advice actually is, because it gives you a little bit of a window into what Ilya might try to do if he were to fight Islam, and that is to say that he needs to be very disruptive with the straight body strikes, which is kind of interesting because when you think about it, Islam is not the kind of guy that changes levels and shoots in on you. He does tend to get a lot of takedown success with body locks, with trips, and stuff like that. Different types of takedowns that allow you to stand more upright than crouch down and shoot in changing levels. So good straight shots to the body.
As the fight gets closer, experts continue to split on predictions. Some see Maddalena's striking as the X factor. Others argue that Makhachev's complete game makes him nearly impossible to dethrone. What everyone agrees on, though, is that UFC 322 will be explosive. The pressure, the build-up, and the clash of styles ensure that this fight won't just be another defense. It will be a test of legacy for Makhachev and a chance at history for Maddalena.
To my understanding, Jack and Volkanovski are teammates. To my understanding, Jack and Volk are in the room together. Volk used to train with Craig Jones, for example, my guy. Jack now trains with Craig Jones, just for example. So there's people that could give you a good sense of how does he feel? What was it like working out with him? Who was stronger? Who was faster? Who was craftier? Who's got the better hands? Who's got the better double leg takedown? Like, there's very good reason that Jack would have very good insight.
The fight also brings another layer with the possible future opponents watching closely. The UFC thrives on momentum, and whoever walks out of this cage with the belt will instantly become the center of the MMA world. If it's Makhachev, he adds another layer to his legacy and edges closer to being considered one of the all-time greats. If it's Maddalena, he shocks the system and proves that even the most dominant reigns can end in a single night.
I've seen Islam, bro. He's a big guy. He's sucking out a lot of weight to get to 55. I think he might start doing better at 70. Problem is, though, Jack is special. We're gonna see just how special he is if he beats Islam Jack, #1 pound for. Wow, that's impressive. You know, I'm leaning towards Islam, brother.
Oh, really?
You know, but I really think it's gonna be a tough fight for him, but a great fight, man.
Jack was able to defend takedown attempts by Bilal.
Bilal has the best cardio in MMA. But Bilal doesn't have Islam's technique. Not same technique. Not same. Very good, very aggressive. Bilal never stops. A dog. Attack. But Islam is like smart, man. Boom, you know. Islam's level of wrestling is above. His stand-up game is improving. I don't think he could go stand-up in the beginning with Jack. Jack has way better hands, way better range, faster, stronger. But as the rounds go on later and later, he could do.
Fans know what's at stake, and the energy around this matchup is growing hotter every day. For Makhachev, his brutal warning is a statement of intent. For Madalena, every training session now is about preparing to silence that statement. Both fighters understand that UFC 322 is not just about a belt, it's about what comes after. In the end, the fight will answer all the questions. Can Madalena's striking and patience find a way to break through Makhachev's wall? Can Makhachev add another dominant win to his record and prove again why he sits at the top of the sport? Predictions, warnings, and analysis add to the drama, but once the cage door closes, it will come down to execution.
How do you think Islam versus JDM goes down?
Honestly, I think Islam will probably take it down. Like, Islam's wrestling really good. Like, even with me, I like really commit to it. I took it down. Their team's so good at like hacking in game plan and sticking to it.
You said that you kind of abandoned the game plan a little. You think if you got a rematch, you would change the game plan a bit?
No, I mean, honestly, I think I went through three rounds, but you have to go out there and make it more clear. When you get into the cage and you're fighting, right, you get into that, like, all right, I feel like striking. Let's keep going. I was doing well with it. Let's keep going. If your coach is trying to get you to focus on the game plan again, it's like, nah, man, I'm doing well with it. You're thinking you're doing better than you are. Every fight, you gain something from it, right?
Until then, Makhachev's chilling words continue to echo. He plans to beat Madalena worse than he did Volkanovski. Whether that comes true or Madalena shocks the world, UFC 322 is set to deliver a night that fans will not forget. Make sure you don't miss a moment of the build-up and aftermath. Stay locked in with Ring Rivalry for all the latest fight breakdowns, predictions, and reactions.